this episode of Horse Shelter Heroes.
So we're about to head up to quarantine. There are a few horses up there that need to be done.
I didn't have many options. If it wasn't for a Horse Plus, I'm not sure what we would have done with the pigs. So.
Yes! Here's heart beating! And we've got ribs, like developed rib cage.
Animal control pull-up. They're bringing over 20 dogs. They're Aussie mixes.
I've been out here working, getting lights installed in the vet hospital. We needed lights, so let's see if it works.
Both of them are very multi-drug resistant, and one of them is a bacteria that I had never heard of before.
You don't want to miss a single second of Horse Shelter Heroes.
All right, so Elijah just showed up. We're gonna try to do a horse down here. It's Owen. I don't think he's been done in a while. He was in quarantine for so long. And then I think we're gonna head up to quarantine and see what priorities we have up there. Alrighty. First volunteer. This is Owen. Yeah, I think you've done him before. He's a little bit antsy.
Looking fine. It's not real long. He's got a lot of sole to trim, but pretty tight, solid feet. Nothing much to complain about. The frogs are a little bit weak, but apart from that, I like them. Just got finished trimming Owen over there. He was hard to catch and he was running around. He came in all sweaty and worked up, but he actually did really well. It seemed like he worked out most of his energy, so that was good.
So we're about to head up to quarantine. There are a few horses up there that need to be done. I want to say there's probably around 9 or 8 that really need to be done up there.
Not bad. Kind of lopsided, overgrown, but just needing some routine maintenance.
He kicked out. Yep.
Yeah, nah, not gonna happen.
Elijah's working on this colt here. He's a bit antsy, but doing pretty good for being as young as he is.
Well, just got finished with that little chestnut colt. I don't think anyone knew his name, but he was super antsy, real fidgety, but he's young. We got all 4 feet done. He was never aggressive, just real dancy. Where? Just got finished. We got through 9 today. A couple of those were halves where we couldn't get back ends done because behavioral issues, but for the most part went pretty smooth. Everyone stayed safe, so it was a good day.
Well, I'm Don. I'm a animal control officer in the Tennessee County, rural county. But I had a like an 89-year-old couple. This sow and these 2 piglets showed up, and they just started like excavating and rooting up around the house. Got in all their landscaping, and they couldn't run the pigs off. They just kept coming back. I went out and looked at the situation. They described it as a potbelly pig, but it's a big potbelly pig. I didn't have many options. If it wasn't for a Horse Plus, I'm not sure what we would have done with the pigs. So anyway, we were able to get them all captured, and different methods, either just actually running them down or using live traps. But I was able to get them transported. We caught them at different times, so they've been separated for a few days. I finally found some baby pig formula to keep that last one alive until today, and they're all back together.
This morning, Chandra is at the courthouse awaiting the decision of the judge whether to sign the care bond for us so that we can get custody of the seizure animals that we've had since January. We're very hopeful that today the judge will sign the documents.
I am going around and picking out horse stalls. I might have to muck some of them. I'm not really sure what they look like yet. But we're starting right here with Sapphire. All right, so we got all the horse stalls picked and mucked out, and now I get to go play construction man up at the trailer.
Dr. Gina and Emily and I are on donkey castration team today. We have a lot of castrations. We've made a lot of progress with castrations. We have 4 donkeys that are already down in our general population that we want to clear for adoption. So we're starting with Blizzard today. He's our first patient. We also have Earl, Biscuit, and Ziggy on our list, and we're gonna get through as many as we can. We're about to get Blizzard in and get his first dose of sedative on board.
All right, so we are all done with Blizzard, just waiting for him to wake up. His surgery went well, routine. Dr. Lydia was a lightning surgeon. And so now we're just waiting for him to wake up, but he was great.
Next up on our list of castration animals is sweet little Biscuit. He's a 3-year-old Jack donkey for the time being until we're done with this procedure.
Just finished castrating Biscuit. He did great under anesthesia. His surgery was pretty routine and he is in recovery. It's almost 12, so we're gonna take a quick lunch break and then we just have one more castration on our list to do today.
I've been on the front lines of animal rescue for over 20 years. I have been going to auctions and I have seen horrible things happen to horses. In 20 years of rescue, nothing has really changed. It's come to the realization that we can't just rescue horses from auctions. We can't just keep rescuing horses out of the slaughter pipeline. We have to stop it once and for all. It's time that a federal law gets put in place, and we are going to Washington, D.C. on a regular basis to try to advocate for horses. What I find in Washington, D.C. is a lot of people have no idea what's actually happening to horses. And I leave these meetings hearing their voices say, "We didn't know that this was so important. Thank you so much for coming and telling us the reality of what's happening to horses." Our advocacy for different acts impacting horse welfare is so critically important. So please donate. Help us change the laws for horses on a federal level.
So I just got back from the Hickman County Courthouse for the court hearing on our 16 seizure dogs. And great success today, the judge has signed off on our care bond. So we officially have our 16 seizure dogs.
So we have Crixus here. We are doing some radiographs of his back and some blood work before he goes to his new home on Friday. All right, so we just got done with Crixus's radiographs and everything looked amazing. And so he is ready to go to his new home on Friday.
So I ran one of our pastures up. It's got a lot of your younger horses in it, and I took a look underneath of Maribel, and I saw quite a bit of udder development, and her teats are hanging down pretty far. and I asked the vets if she was on their radar, and they said that she was due for a preg check. And I said, well, I think that's a good idea.
So we're out here with our new ultrasound equipment. We're gonna try and do the curvilinear transabdominal approach to see if she's pregnant. If the baby's that far advanced, we should be able to see it up in the inguinal region. If she is not amenable to that, then we'll try going in via the rectal probe.
Dr. Gina just finished using our C probe to do a transabdominal ultrasound. We think we might have seen a heartbeat in her abdomen, but we weren't able to confirm 100%. So we're gonna go in via rectal palpation. This is a young mare who has barely been handled, so it's a bit dangerous. We have her sedated. We have her in a location where we think we can keep Dr. Gina safe, and hopefully we can get a definitive answer. Yes! Yeah! Corey, I'm gonna turn this your way for 1 quick second. There's amniotic sac, baby with body parts. Oh, I'm sorry. I pulled the trigger before Dr. Gina got. There's the heart. There's the heart beating, and we've got ribs, like developed rib cage. You guys see? Corey, I think if.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Can you see how crisp it is? My goodness, it's so exciting.
So we are here with this lovely lady, and based on her rectal ultrasound, we found positive signs of pregnancy. We saw a little heartbeat and some movement. So we think that she's probably far enough along that if we tried to shoot a radiograph, we could get some skeletal features on there, but we're pretty excited to find out that she's got a little baby in there.
Gonna feed today, gotta go. Just got done fueling up, so now I'm gonna go over to the barn and load up the feed and some hay, and we'll make our rounds and do some watering and all that good stuff today. Sorry there, Cherokee. Didn't mean that. Just got done feeding Cherokee and Burrow and filling up their waterer. So they're good for another day. On to the next flights. Getting ready to feed Dino and Cowboy today. Just got done feeding the last of the horses down here in the regular population. I gotta water some over here in the half quarantine, or soft quarantine, I think is what they're calling that one now. And then we'll head up to quarantine and feed the rest. Finishing up here in quarantine. Got the last of the horses fed. Got the waterers done. So now on to the next thing.
We just had Giles County Animal Control pull up. They're bringing over 20 dogs or Aussie mixes to us from a case that they're working on. So over the next few weeks, we'll probably be getting some more dogs from this case in, but they just pulled up and we're about to get them unloaded.
All right, so we are in the surgery suite of the vet barn, and then we're gonna do a triage of them and figure out who needs what and who's sick and who's not. So we got 32 dogs in total. They've all been unloaded, and so now we're going to work on microchipping and doing a overall health triage just to see how everyone's doing, and then we're going to go from there.
So right now the pigs that we got from Giles County Animal Control are going to be picked up. They're being transferred to another rescue. We do have to get microchips in them first. The mom already has a microchip, so now we just got to get the babies. We're going to get a crate over here to put the mama pig in, and then we're going to get the babies, microchip them, and we'll be good to go from there. All right, all the pigs are loaded and they are on their way.
This is sweet little Honey. She has been with us for about a week and a half. She was initially in extremely bad shape and we were worried about her making the first night. She's improved a little bit. Her infection is definitely trending in the right direction. She's pretty itchy and uncomfortable, and we held off on giving her a full bath because she was in such rough shape, but I was due to sedate her today anyway to get her wounds really clean. So Taylor is gonna help me give Honey a full bath today, in addition to her wound care. Dr. Gina and I, and Taylor and I just took radiographs of Honey. We wanted to take some films of her neck because she's very, very stiff and doesn't seem to want to move that neck. Obviously, she has a ton of wounds, so that's one explanation, but we wanted to make sure we weren't missing something. Initially, we were concerned we saw an avulsion fracture, but we took bilateral films of both of her forelimbs, and as it turns out, I think it's just a growth plate. So she was reported to be 1.5. The eruption dates of the adult teeth start coming out at 2.5. So, well, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So I think she might be even younger than we thought. And we didn't see anything horribly wrong. She's got some terrible conformation. She has very bad club hooves, and she definitely has severe soft tissue swelling and effusion associated with those wounds. But we didn't find any fractures, which is great. And we're about to give her a bath. Dr. Gina and I got a lot of radiographs on Honey. We haven't looked closely at them yet. We do have some concerns, hopefully some survivable concerns, but it looks like in some areas she had enough trauma associated with those skin wounds that you can see from the outside that it activated the bone. So it's called a periosteal reaction, and that's pretty severe trauma it takes to make the bone underneath bruise and be reactive. So we know that she had a really horrific experience, repeated horrific experiences, but we can even see it on her bones. I think she liked her bath. She was very itchy, so I used just kind of a gentle aloe. Someone donated it. Smells very nice, just kind of like a gentle soothing shampoo everywhere. And it's one of those hard cases where the logic of your brain probably shouldn't have tried, but she's so young and she's so sweet and she's so heartbreakingly injured that we really want to give her every chance that we can. So we're going to keep fighting as long as she keeps participating and telling us that she's okay with that. She is doing a little bit better, a little bit brighter today, and she continues to eat and drink well.
So here at Horse Plus, we have a lovely gift shop. Things that are bought in our gift shop are used as donations to help us save more horses. Here are a few things we have. Having a long day at work, we have Horse Plus cups. You feel cold? We've got a Horse Plus hoodie just for you. Want to show your love for Horse Plus? We have t-shirts with our logos. You just bought a mug? Well, we've got a sticker to go on it too. Here on site, we have so many more things for you to buy and look at, but we also have an online store where we offer a wide variety of different things. Stickers, we've got all kinds of t-shirts. If you love dogs and cats, we've got stuff for that. Horses, galore. Every dollar spent buying these amazing things goes towards our horses here at Horse Plus Humane Society. We greatly appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you wearing one of our t-shirts.
I've been out here working, getting lights installed in the vet hospital, the pens out here in front of the vet hospital, because especially in the wintertime, sunsets at 4:30, we don't get off work till 6:30. Sometimes we have late night emergencies, and we needed lights, so let's see if it works. Yay! I knew it was, but it's getting done.
Dr. Gina and I are both really tired today. Sapphire, we've been meaning to update you guys on camera for about the last week. Sapphire started coughing about 8 days ago. Started off pretty mild cough. She's coughed kind of intermittently a couple times and had some serious nasal discharge since we first got her, but her cough has gotten worse and worse. She's been on antibiotics, she's been on anti-inflammatories, she's been on medications to help reduce inflammation in the airways, and we put her on GI support. We have this amazing company that donates a product called Synchill for us, and they have a type that has a gastric protectant in it, so she's been put on that supplement. Unfortunately, yesterday, late afternoon to evening, Sapphire colicked. Dr. Gina lives on site, and she did an amazing job catching those signs early, intervening early. Sapphire's doing a little bit better from that. But we also took samples of nasal discharge from Sapphire last week to send for bacterial culture. And unfortunately, those results are pretty horrible. She has 2 different bacteria affecting her. Both of them are very multi-drug resistant. And one of them is a bacteria that I had never heard of before. It's Streptococcus pleuramalium, which the lab that we sent it to put in the report that it was a relatively unknown pathogen in horses. I had to look it up. I was able to find one paper with one case report, which didn't have a great case outcome. So we're very, very concerned about Sapphire. Her legs are doing very well and are very stable, but she's very uncomfortable coughing. She's not eating well. She's got GI distress, and now she has multiple drug-resistant bacteria that are a risk to other patients in our hospital as well as humans working with her. So we are gonna sedate her today. We're gonna do a rectal palpation, give her some fluids. We're gonna ultrasound her gastrointestinal tract and her lungs and run some blood work and see if we can find any more information. This hose water, hopefully to roughly physiologic temp. We don't want to make Sapphire cold, and we also don't want to startle her. Her fecal balls are about normal sized and consistency, but her rectum feels very dry. So I always use a lot of lube, but we were gonna give her rectal fluids anyway, so we're gonna give the fluids first and kind of get her cleaned out and softened up, and then we're gonna ultrasound her. We just finished doing a pretty comprehensive workup on Sapphire today. She got a little bit of a sedate. We rectally palpated her. We did a physical exam. She got a lot of rectal fluids. Dr. Gina ultrasounded her abdomen and her thorax from the outside. I ultrasounded her GI tract from the inside. And then I did a bandage change. Her wounds look so beautiful. Her legs in that regard are doing very well, but she's been coughing, severely coughing, and really uncomfortable from that cough for about 10 days. And her culture results came back with unfortunate news that she has a lot of multi-drug resistance, including bad bacteria that can be a risk to humans and other patients. So we're having to change her antibiotics from oral antibiotics to injectable antibiotics that cause discomfort. She already does not like needles, which isn't surprising with how often she's been poked. And then unfortunately, one of the bacteria that she cultured is a newer streptococcus in horses is not good prognosis. There's a lot of concern for pockets of this infection spreading hematogenously, which just means via the bloodstream, to affect other organs, and it can cause meningitis. We're not seeing meningitis-like symptoms in Sapphire today, but I'll let Dr. Gina talk about what we're seeing in her lungs. We're very, very concerned about Sapphire.
I got back her CBC, but not her chem yet. Her CBC shows that she has a decreased lymphocyte count, which is concerning because if she's this far out from her leg wounds and she's fighting an infection in her lungs, we would expect her to have an immune response mounted, and the fact that it's starting to drop is really concerning, even though she's had several antibiotics on board. She has lots of, when Dr. Marino was here, she talked about you have these horizontal lines and vertical lines, and a few verticals are okay, but multiples are not okay. So when looking at the pleural surface, she has a lot of those shadows being cast, which means the pleural surface is very irregular and angry. And we also saw bits where the pleural surface was gone and you could see deeper into the lung, which means that that pleural surface is completely broken. And that's not normal. We should not be able to see deeper into the lung unless there's pockets of stuff that are not good. So we are very concerned with all those changes. So like Dr. Lydia said, we changed her antibiotic injection dose to hopefully combat some of that, but we are very worried going into the weekend with her in this state.
We fought really hard for her, and we want to continue to give her every chance, but we also don't want her to suffer, and we want to make sure that we're here for her if she communicates that she's done fighting, or if her body communicates that it's done fighting. So hopefully that's not the case, and we're going to keep trying.